Okay, welcome again, guys. Let's see what we're gonna talk about today. Yeah, cool. So today we will talk about file permissions. That's what I have decided. File permissions. So what are the things we can do with the files? What do you mean by read, write, and execute access? How to change it? What do you mean by absolute permissions? What do you mean by relative permissions? So all those kind of concepts we will see. Okay. So, and just a refresher, I hope everyone is aware of it. So this is ls minus l. So if you see this, so when I'm saying Samir, the permissions, I'm talking about this entire things from here to here. Okay, so this things, sorry. So this entire things we call it as a permissions. Okay, now what do you mean by permissions? Permissions, it's nothing but who can access and who cannot access. And we are setting up some kind of restrictions in a file and a directory that who can access and who cannot access. So if you see wherever I have marked, there is something called dash, and there is something called R, there is something called W, there is something called D, and there is something called X. So I mean, what is this? Okay, so you can ask me what is this, and then answer is, let me explain to you. Okay, R means read, W means write, X means execute. Okay, and when you say hyphen means, okay, it's a file, and D means it's a directory. Okay, this is the concept. Now let me go back to the okay, now here if you see, clear all. Okay, cool. Now I'll just want to take a, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, cool. Now I'm just copying this particular file. Okay, so let me go back to, okay, here I'm gonna paste it. Now here, right, the first, this one, I'm talking about the first one. Okay, that is that decides whether that particular item is it a file or a directory. I'm talking about this one, the first, I mean, what do you say, the first character or first digit. Okay, so this one, whether it is a file or directory. So if I go back here, if I go back to my Linux terminal, see the first one here, it shows here this is file, but this one is D, directory. Okay, and other things as well, for hyphen hyphen, it's all file. Yeah, so that is the first digit. Now I'm taking the second one, rw hyphen. Samir, what do you mean by rw hyphen? Okay, I'm just making rw hyphen here. This one is for, okay, before that, before I explain that thing, there are three components here. Okay, users, groups, and others. Okay, for users, you will have, you may have read, that is R, or W, or X. So whatever I'm mentioning here, you may have it. For groups as well, same, you may have read or W or X. And for others, others means whoever is not a user or groups, you may have read or W or X. Okay, so this is the concept. Now I'm just coming back here, rw hyphen, it means this is for these three things after the first digit, second, third, fourth. This is comes under user section. Okay, and this one 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, this comes under group section. Okay, and rest of the three other section. So totally how many digits you have here? Here if you see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 digits you have. Okay, so out of this 10 digit, so for example, first digit will tell you whether it's a file or directory. Okay, so second, third, and fourth for users. User in the sense whoever is owning the file. 5, 6, 7, it's for other, I mean groups owner. And then 8, 9, and 10 is for others. Okay, so that's the concept of this permission. Okay, if you put any ls minus l, you'll get that. So if you can see here on the screen, let me duplicate a session, 1 minute. Okay, cool. I think that screen got stuck maybe. So here we go. Okay, so ls minus l. So here if you see any files, okay, this is a file and this is a directory and this is a file, this is a file. Okay, so rest of the things, this one is for user and this 3 is for group and this one is for others. So if I take libc.html, who's the user here? This one is a user column and this one is a group column. Okay, and this is the size and this is the when was it last modified. Okay, so I'll just tell you again. So this is the permissions, okay, and this is the who's the user, okay, and this one is a group and this one is the size of the file and this is when was the last modification and this is the file size. So if you want me to just type it again. So this is the permission and this is the user who is owning the file. So ec2-user is the user ID who is owning that file. Okay, and this one is the group and this one is the file size and this one is the last modification time. Okay, and this one is file name. Okay, now if you see here, if you see this one, rw, this one rw hyphen, which means this ec2-user can read and write on this file. Okay, and if you see another one, if you see the next one, okay, rw hyphen again, this one, okay, so this this is for group. So this ec2-user group can read and write. Okay, so and the next one, okay, r hyphen hyphen so this guy, who's this guy? So except the user and group, other people, okay, so who is trying to access, they can only read, they can't write or they can't execute. That's it. Okay, so this is a basic funda of all these things. Hello, let me clear it all and then I'll just show you how to change the permissions. Okay, say for example I'm using libc.html and I want to change it to I want to give the execute permission here. So how will you do it? chmod, there is a command called chmod and then space and then u. Okay, so always remember, as I said, there are 3 sections. Okay, u and then g and then o. Okay, so the command will be like this. So if you see the and also the first bit, this one hyphen or d, and this one is, so this one is the first digit and this one is 234 is the user space and 467 is for groups, that is for groups, G, U, G, O, others. Okay, now my command will be like this, chmod, okay, and then U. Okay, and then if I want to execute, if I want to add X here, okay, in the user section, so what I'll do is U plus X, chmod U plus X, and then you have to type the file name. So my file name is libc.html. Now if I type chmod u plus x libc.html, now if you type ls minus l, see here we do not have x here, but here x is added. Okay, so this is where you have to do it. Now in the same libc.html, if you want to add X here in the group, so what will you do? So again, chmod, instead of U for user, you have to type G plus X and then libc.html, ls minus l. So now X is added. So same like for other, if you want to add chmod O plus X libc.html, ls minus l. See, everywhere it is added. X is added, X is added, X is added. So if you want to remove the X, what you can do? So chmod, either you can type U for user, G for group, O for other, minus X libc.html. Now if you type ls minus l, see, X is removed. Okay, so this is one way of adding execute. So if you want to add chmod, instead of ugo, you can give a for all. Okay, all, and then if you add plus w libc.html, enter. If you type ls minus l, see, w will be added everywhere in this file, libc.html file. Okay, so this chmod will work in recursively as well. For example, I'll just tell you, there is a directory, cd main directory is there. Okay, inside this ls minus l, so all these files doesn't have X permission. Now if I want to add X permission in all these 4 files, what I will do is I'll come back here. So ls minus l, this is a main directory. Okay, so chmod -r, capital R space, and then you can give a is for all, or you can give ugo, no problem, anything is fine. A plus, I'm adding execute permission in main directory. Now if I type cd main directory, now if you type ls minus, see, X permission is added. If you can see, X permission is all added there. Okay, so -r is for recursive permission. Okay, so this kind of ugo concepts, whatever it is, the above concept, we call it as relative permissions. Okay, this is one way of giving permissions change into a file or a directory or those things. So basically, I'll just tell you what is that. Okay, so category is like this. Category is U is for user, okay, G is for group, O is for others, that's it, and A is for all means UGO, everything. Okay, this is a category. And operation wise, what happens is you will get plus is equal to what? Plus is equal to assign permission. Okay, and minus is equal to remove permissions. Okay, and is equal to same. It will it also assigns permissions only. That's it. Okay, and permission, from the permission level you have 2. R is for read permission, okay, W is for write permission, and X is for execute permission. Okay, so the above details, it's for relative permissions. Let's talk about absolute permissions. I mean, what do you mean by absolute permissions? Okay. Absolute permissions. Okay, perfect. Now the absolute permissions, it's nothing. So absolute permissions, I'll make it really simple. Okay, I'll not go in detail. Okay, there are some numbering systems which you have to by heart, and if you keep practicing it, it would be very easy for you to put a mind map. Okay, so read permissions, you give a number of 4, and write permissions you give a number of 2, and execute permissions you give a number of 1. So 4, 2, 1. Okay, so 4 is for read, 2 is for write, and 1 is for execute permissions. Okay, so there is a table. For example, if you see in any file, okay, if you see in any file like this, hyphen, so what do you mean by hyphen means no permissions at all. Okay, and if you see hyphen x, so which means there is an execute permission. Okay, and what about hyphen w hyphen? So only write permission, hyphen w hyphen, and there is one more hyphen wx. What do you mean by this? Only write and executable permission, hyphen wx. And what about har hyphen hyphen? Only read permission. Okay, and what about r hyphen x? So only read and execute permission. And the last one, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, seventh, rwx, which means all read, write and execute permission. Okay, now you need to put this 4 to 1 number here. For example, this is x. X means what? This executable means you can put x. Okay, x is equal to 1. 1 here. Okay, so here w means 2. Okay, here w and x, so you have to add 2 plus 1, 3. So here r means 4. So here 4r and x, for 4 plus 1, 5. So here rwx, 4 plus 2 plus 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so whenever you see, for example, there are two ways, okay, assigning, where there are two ways of changing permissions. The first one is relative way. The second one is absolute way. Okay, so the first one, relative way, is example chmod ugo, okay, plus rw, okay, and then libc.html. So what about the absolute way? chmod, okay, instead of this ugo r plus w, you're gonna change something here. Okay, so I'm gonna, okay, what is the meaning of ugo? Means user group other sections. I'm gonna add rw, only rw. I don't want any kind of execute or something. Okay, or even if it is execute also, I don't care. Okay, but here in this, what you need to do is ugo, it means all. R is for r. What's the number for r? 4. Read permission 4. I'm gonna give 4. And also w is what? W is 1. So 4 plus 1, 5, right? Okay, so I'm gonna give 5, and for group also 5, and for other is also 5, libc.html. Okay, so for example, one more example, let's see. chmod. So if I want to give user only r, read libc.html. So what is the absolute way? Absolute way is chmod user, only user, we need r. What is the number for r? Is 4. So only user we need 4. So I'll make sure 4, and then rest of the things I'll make 0, 0. Rest of the things is 4. Here it is user, here it is group, and here it is other. Got it? libc.html. So let me see one more way. So relative way. chmod ugo, or you can say a plus rwx. I'm giving, this is very dangerous, okay, giving executive permissions and all the permissions to everybody, user group, others, everyone. So just for example, I'm just showing you, but don't ever do this. Absolute way, chmod, okay. So for all the user also, I need rwx. So rwx, you have to add 4 to 1. So total 7 everywhere. 7, 7, 7. libc.html. So that's it. So this is so easy.